Welcome back to Concrete Play. Today we're going to talk about UI. We're not going to talk about how to implement a button or implement a menu. We're going to talk about how to think about the concept of UI and why it is so incredibly annoying to everyone. So I've put together this little prototype over the past few hours, and it's basically a post-apocalyptic harvest moon. So you can see I'm using all stand-in assets. There's no final assets at all, but I have it so that plots of land can be highlighted. And I have it so that plants can grow. Here's some grass, and you can watch it grow if you'd like. And I have things, the grass will call events when it finishes growing, and I can call harvest events and all that stuff. So all I've got to do now is implement the UI. UI. Very few people like doing UI, but the reason that UI is so incredibly annoying to everyone is that we think about it wrong. So when I say all I've got to do is UI, what I actually mean is all I've got to do is build all of the data framework that I'm going to need to support the UI. Now that data framework has nothing to do with UI. The game needs to understand the concept of seeds, of seedlings, of player inventories, of tools, perhaps of inventories in boxes, maybe the concept of time. So there are lots of things that I need to program into the game before I can program even one piece of UI. Now, if I wanted to just put a window up in the corner that told me about what this plot was, that wouldn't take long at all. In fact, let's go ahead and just do it right here on camera. I can put it in front of the screen by just creating a UI canvas. There we are. And it's automatically in front of the camera, so I don't have to worry about placing it. And we'll just create ourselves a panel. Where's our panel? There we are. Which we will size to our needs. We'll put it in the upper right-hand corner, make it 0, 1, and make it, say, 300 by 100. No problem, right? So now if I hit play, I've got a thing in the upper left. See that? And of course, within that, I can put text boxes and anything else I'd like. So let's go ahead and put in UI text. Make it full size for now. We'll fix that later. Best fit, although that is very costly in terms of performance. And we will just go ahead and say stuff goes here. Give ourselves a little bit of bounds. And then we'll go ahead and open up our player controller, which we have got right here. And here we will say, oh, we need to have a little bit of text. So public game object cursor public text. Oh, we don't have text, so we need to enter in text. UI, yeah, there it is. And we say public text main UI text, just for a temporary measure. And then down here we say main UI text equals, and then we use the name of the target. So target.name. And down here we say main UI text equals nothing. No problem, right? Just hit play. And you can see how it says stuff goes here. So it hasn't been triggered yet. I screwed it up, see? Yep, I forgot to set it. Of course. So we go over to the player. There you are. So if all UI was this easy, then we wouldn't have any problems, right? You just saw me create that UI in like 15 seconds, 30 seconds. And it would be super easy for me to make that UI tell you whether there was a plant on there, to make it hide itself away or show itself based on whether or not you had it selected. It would be very, very easy for me to create all of the UI I needed as long as I have all the pieces I need. But I don't have all the pieces I need. I don't have an inventory. And when we think of something like an inventory, we think, I have to create a UI for my inventory. But what we're actually thinking is, I have to create the concept of an inventory, and then I'll also put a UI on top, and I'll just call that UI, even though it's a vast amount of development plus UI. So with that in mind, whenever you start to feel discouraged by UI, I want you to stop for a second, and I want you to think about the systems behind the UI that you haven't built yet. Rather than getting discouraged about how hard it is to do UI, I want you to remember that I threw that together in 30 seconds because I had all the pieces I need. It's going to take me another hour or 2 hours to do the other pieces of the UI I need, but that's not because the UI is hard. That's because the concepts behind the UI haven't been implemented yet. There's nothing like an inventory or a tool. So, whenever you start to get tired and say, oh, UI is such a pain in the ass, just remember, it's because you're probably lumping in a lot of systems with the concept of UI. And you should really separate them out and treat them as separate tasks. They're all bite-sized if you do that. That's it.